140 RSVPs.
Oh, wow.
We'll see. There'll be some drop off.
Mm-hmm.
There always is, but we should have between 80 and 100.
Big crowd.
Yeah. People really want to do this, so that gives us some credibility too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, great. So I would say you might want to be there around 6:30. There'll be some milling around, but then you can greet the alders when they arrive. You probably want to do that. 6:30, 6:45 at the latest.
Okay. You said be there at what time? I'm sorry, I missed that part.
6:30.
6:30? Yeah, I can do that. That's easy.
Yeah. And then, there'll be a little milling around, but some last minute questions and
then what,
when the alders come.
What time are we starting?
7.
At 7. Okay. Let me adjust that in my
7
calendar.
to 8:30 is what we have in mind.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
I'll be there at
6:30.
6:30.
I'll compile the questions. So that part will be new. I'll work on that tonight.
Cool.
The questions from the audience. I mean, we have a lot of them. More than when we did it in December. There weren't that many. But now a lot of people added questions, and a lot of them are about public safety. We don't want to get real bogged down in, smash and grabs or something.
Mm-hmm.
But if a lot of people asked a question, we're going to ask it.
For sure.
I'll sort through them. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted, just to see that it all rang true to you, and we can go over it in detail tomorrow. What time did you say tomorrow was good for you? Or do we need to go over it in detail, do you think?
We probably don't need it tomorrow, but if you think we do, we can figure something out. I'm pretty flexible tomorrow. I gotta go back and look at the times I sent you, but I'm pretty flexible, so we can make it work.
Okay. Let's see then. Yeah, you said noon to 2 tomorrow.
Yep.
And what do I think about that? That's not all bad. Probably 12:30 to 2. But yeah, let's just see what we get together tonight. And I think we'll both know whether we need to talk again.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you.
No problem. I'll catch you later.
All right, see you tomorrow.
See you.
Bye.
Let's see. Oh, hey, Leona.
Hey, party people.
Greetings. Mr. Parrish, good to see you.
How you doing?
Return of the Mac.
I don't know about that, man.
Said he wants some more NABJ in his life. Love to see it.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl, how you doing?
I'm good. How do you say Grace's last name?
Asabu, I think.
Asebu.
Asabu.
Asebu.
Asebu.
Boom.
Asebu.
Asebu.
Great job.
Thank you.
Grace from a native Chicago, and where's she from?
As far as I know,
Okay.
yeah.
About the last name because I went to Ghana a couple of months ago, so when I hear anything that's
Hmm.
a little different, I'm saying, oh, where's she from?
I hear you. Makes sense.
There's Lauren.
Hey man, I see like is that an Emmy back there behind you?
It sure is.
All right, all right,
The first of hopefully many,
all right.
but we'll see.
You sound like who is the guy who he lost the Oscar for Best Actor, but he played like he was uh who's the folk singer, the um Chalamet, the
Hmm.
Chalamet guy.
Timothy Chalamet? Oh wait, you said
Yeah,
Chalamet.
and who did he portrayed
Oh,
somebody?
Bob Dylan.
Yeah, he portrayed Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
said, that he had poured so much into that that he works to become the master, and he's going to be up there with all of the top actors. So winning, I think he won a SAG-AFTRA award. So he said, this is just a prelude to, the many Oscars that I will win or something.
Yeah. Look, I may never win another one again, but the goal is maybe
Yeah,
at some point have a few extra over there, maybe get a bigger uh, stand. But we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, we don't do it for the awards. We do it for the people. But it's nice to have.
yeah,
Looks good on the resume.
that's true.
Helps the price go up.
That's true too.
Mm-hmm. About
Mhm.
5 minutes.
Mhm. Has anybody been outside today?
Yeah, I have my little 10-minute walks. It's overcast.
Okay.
A little windy, but still feels nice.
All right. Very good. Thank you. I need to get out there.
Yeah, I'm working on my Cowboy Carter body, so I can't let up in these last days, the month countdown.
I walked to work and back today,
Oh, that's nice.
and yeah, the weather is still a little chillier than it needs to be, but I'm making it work.
What's the length of the walk?
40 minutes to and from,
Wow.
and then 40 minutes back. As Leona says, trying to get the Cowboy Carter body.
Hmm.
Even though I don't really have plans to go to Cowboy Carter, but we'll see.
I don't believe this man at all. I think he's gonna wait for last minute tickets,
I
which is okay.
am
Yep, and
on the
I'm gonna
day
see
of
him.
or the day before. I will be looking at Ticketmaster and seeing what's
Hmm.
available.
And I'm gonna see him on Instagram. Like, well, we made it.
And people gonna be upset because I'm gonna have a ticket that's 100 level that I paid $200 for
At the last minute.
at the last minute. That's what happened last time. I waited till
It is.
the day of the concert for the Renaissance concert and found some 100 level seats for like $180
Yeah.
and just bit. And I know folks that were just really heated. They're like, I paid like 2,000 for this seat. I'm like, yeah. I mean,
You said, yeah.
don't be so pressed next time. All right,
Well, it
Aisha.
was my first time going to see her, and I made the unfortunate mistake of being on time.
Same. I don't know. I was like rushing to try to get there
Yeah.
on the time, and I just forgot that there's a whole
No,
thing before.
Beyonce is usually on time, unlike other artists. And even her late gag, it rained and it was only like a good 40-minute delay the first night. So I think it's important to come on time to her shows. I have to stand up.
No, no. I
Oh,
waited
Brandon,
like 2 hours.
I was like you. I went the day of, got floor seats, cheap.
Cheap.
But not for Renaissance. I did it for On the Run, the second tour.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it is possible for $200 each on the
It is.
floor.
My plan is to wait for Cowboy Carter to look. There's a great article out right now. Not a great article, but it's an
I
article
saw
about,
about the seats. The tickets aren't selling.
yeah, the tickets aren't selling. And I'm like, yeah, because we're in a recession. And there's too many world tours and concerts and farewell tours and all kinds of things happening. So you got
I'm
SZA and
just signing
Kendrick
out of
too.
work really quickly.
Yeah, do your thing. You got SZA and Kendrick as well, which I'm also gonna wait last minute for.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in there though.
Brenda, do you see Grace and Kathy?
I see Kathy.
Okay,
Do we want to promote her to a panelist too?
um, I'll ask her.
And then no Grace yet. Also, do we have any other candidates here?
Let's see. Yeah,
Hey
two.
y'all, for
Mhm.
those who don't know me, I'm Marquita Anderson. Hey everybody, how y'all doing
Yeah.
tonight? And I'm like trying to jump into the Beyonce conversation. I feel like I've been to like multiple shows and I'm always trying to jump in. I call myself like executive member of the Beehive.
Executive member.
I've been to probably every concert or show besides Homecoming. I didn't make it to Coachella for that one, but I 100% stayed up very late. I think it was like a midnight show or something like that
Mm-hmm.
to watch it live on YouTube
Hmm.
or Netflix, one of those. So
It was YouTube. I'm not a Beehive person, but I appreciate, certain things. And I did watch that Coachella. So I didn't go on camera. I did watch that Coachella performance. I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The Beachella.
Baychella was amazing. It was everything and more. I'm a
right.
big Beyonce fan. I'm part of the executive committee as well.
Look, here we are.
Big Beehive person. I believe she is one of the greatest of all time. I
Mhm.
just ain't spending that much money for her. That's
I hear you.
how it's got to be. We in an R word. So
I'm right there with you in the Cowboy Carter. I did Renaissance and we did it up and had a great time, but I'm like, we'll see what those day tickets looking like.
it takes a lot
Now
for
I'll
you
go.
to drop a bunch of money on an artist. Takes a lot.
Yeah.
I'll go see Cowboy Carter because I missed Renaissance, and that was really on me. There was no excuse because I love that album. So I think I may do this one. Plus, it's like my birthday weekend, so I'm like, okay, I can do that. And it's just to make up and hope that it's live. Oh shit! Hold on. Shoot. Let me just okay.
All right, it's 6 o'clock.
Okay. Well, Grace said she was trying to log in, so
Oh, she's here.
okay.
Just got in.
Okay. Let me see.
All right. Grace should be joining now. And then we can go ahead and kick things off.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes. We'll start at 6:03.
Thank you. Okay, one more quick thing to do. Lots happening in news today.
Oh, shoot.
What? Just the Pope.
We'll see if I'm part of the conclave this year.
Yeah,
Did you guys see that movie?
I
Loved it.
did.
Loved it.
Yes, so did I. As a person who was raised Catholic, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm signed off because if I don't sign off, they'll keep sending me stuff.
Okay, Brandon.
Ready? All right. Well, greetings, everybody. Welcome to this official NABJ election forum for our 2025 campaign. Excited to see a large crop of candidates this year to join the executive board. I'm Branton Pope, president of NABJ Chicago. Really thankful to our nomination and bylaws committee and elections committee for their hard work in putting all of this together. And so, without further ado, I want to tee it off to the leader, our brave leader of the group here, and longtime NBJ Chicago member and our current parliamentarian, Cheryl Corley. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, Brandon. As Brandon says, I'm Cheryl Corley, the head of the Nomination and Bylaws Committee. That committee handles the election, and I do that along with committee members Kathy Cheney and tonight's moderator, Grace Asebu. But before I turn it to Grace, I'd just like to thank all of you who have joined the webinar tonight, and to remind you that the election itself gets underway next Monday on the 28th virtually for full members who will receive an email link. And voting will also take place at the annual meeting, which will be held on May 21st at CBS. So mark your calendars for that. Thank you again for joining us for the webinar. It's an important moment in the election process. And now I'll just turn it over to Grace.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Great. Perfect. Thank you all for logging on today, giving us your time for this forum where we have some questions for everyone here, of course, who is running for the board, just so membership can get an idea of, you guys' vision and ask any questions they want, as well as us. We, of course, have prepared some questions. So before I get into those questions, I think I'll just let everyone sort of introduce themselves, tell us where you work currently, how long you've been working there, if you're comfortable with that, how long you've been a part of NABJ, and I don't know, your favorite month of the year. I'm curious. And I'll start with Norman.
No, not me first. My name is Norm Parrish. I'm a longtime member of NABJ National. I've worked with various chapters around the country. Currently, you asked what I do now. Currently, I'm an editor at the Chicago Sun-Times, with a deputy managing editor. I've been back in Chicago, I guess we give away my age, for the last 18 years. But I've been a journalist now for maybe 4 decades. I've worked throughout the country as a journalist. Mostly since I've been back home, I've been in editing jobs. I'm honored to be here. I feel great to be part of the chapter and get involved with the chapter. Like I said, I was a NABJ National Board member way back in the 90s. Helped start a chapter in Arizona, which still exists, Arizona Association of Black Journalists. Just tried to start one. We started one in New Mexico. They were having some problems there that now is now defunct. And I was involved in the St. Louis chapter as well. But no, I'm just glad to be, back at home to get involved with the organization here. I'm originally from Chicago. I was born in Chicago, grew up in Robbins. Anybody from South Suburbs in the house? And so, no, I'm just glad to be involved with this great group of people, and actually to learn something, to learn what what some of the younger journalists are thinking and how they view the various issues that are in journalism today.
Great. Thank you so much. I am just going to go in order of who is on my screen. So to the left of Norman is Leona.
Hi, my name is Leona Towner. I've been in Chicago for 4 years now. As of what I do, I actually just got an official job offer and fellowship offer that I cannot announce. So follow me at Leona J25 to see what I'm gonna be doing in May. Um, yeah, I just kind of like Norman, I've been a part of multiple chapters. I am 27, so I always say this is my last year as an emerging journalist. 5 years out of school. I'm keeping on to it, claiming it. But yeah, I started in undergrad with TSU and I met a founder and she was excited when I brought back the TSU chapter. I got my first laptop ever after attending an event as a Nashville chapter. I got my first job connection after I went to the North Carolina A&T short course. I got a job out of that networking opportunity. So NABJ has been so good to me in every state that I've been in that there's just no way I couldn't give back and try to continue that legacy. So I'm excited to be here and to run for you guys as secretary officially. I know you said earlier favorite month of the year, so I wrote it down. And it's September because my birthday's in September. Husband's birthday's in September. Fall's my favorite month. And also it's my wedding anniversary. So a lot going on to love for me.
Indeed. Wow, that is a lot. Next, below Leona on my screen is Aisha.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aisha Jefferson. I am an editor at the Associated Press. I am currently the VP of Archives for our wonderful chapter. I am a Chicago native who also grew up in the South Suburbs, so I claim both. Don't ask me what high school I went to. We're not doing that. Chicago wouldn't know about that. Also, congratulations, Leona, for your new opportunity. I've been a member of, I got introduced to NABJ as a high schooler. I've been doing journalism since I was in high school. I've also been, I was previously an active member also in the Atlanta Association of Black Journalists. I moved back home and I love being an adult in Chicago and being a part of this chapter and how it's grown and how it is evolving. I absolutely love it. I look forward to continuing my work as VP of Archives. We have a very illustrious history here in Chicago with Black journalism, and I just want to help to preserve that because there seems to be a challenge about Black people's contributions. And I just want to help, save the work that we've done and talk to those who came before us, who have helped pave the way. My favorite month is probably May. I'm a little biased. That's my birthday month. And I love it because it signals spring. By the time my birthday comes along, the trees are pretty much green. So, and it's warmer generally. Hopefully it'll be warmer.
Thank you. I was hoping someone would say May. It's also my favorite month.
Leave it to me.
Next is Brett.
Hi, can you guys hear me or
It's a little spotty.
yeah,
I can
figured.
hear you though.
Okay. Um, Let me just take off my headphone.
It's better now for me.
Okay, is this better? Okay.
Yes.
Hi,
Hi, my name is Brett Brooks. Some people know me as Brittany Brooks. I am running for the vice president of digital. I am also a Chicago native, born and raised, born on the South Side. Don't ask me where I went to high school either, like Aisha, but we're representing the northwest suburbs over here. But I've been in Chicago my entire life. I actually feel like I'm an Illinois person because I lived in Rockford, Decatur, Springfield, Charleston, and obviously the South Side. So I've been all over North Central Illinois, Central Illinois. I am actually helping to somewhat start up the NABJ of Central Illinois, and I think they're trying to do Central and Southern chapters together. So I kind of helped found them. But I've been a part of NABJ for, honestly, I think maybe even before the pandemic. I would say probably like 2018 ish. I knew about NABJ for the longest since I started going to journalism school at Eastern Illinois University. And I'm running for the digital position because I believe in social media. I'm a social media person, I'm a content creator. I think journalism is content, right? What we all do is content, whether it's written or it's recorded or if it's documented in the archives, like Aisha mentioned, but it's all content. And I think what's really important is as we move into this digital age, or as we advance into the digital age, that we make our presence more known on social media so people actually know what NBJ is doing as a whole, or what NBJ Chicago is doing as a whole, because we are doing fabulous things. And we have so many talented journalists here, so many award-winning journalists here, and so much legacy here. One thing that makes me really proud to be a journalist in Chicago is that when I talked to Cheryl Burton, she said she started working as a journalist in Chicago. I can't remember which one. She started working as a journalist the same month I was born. And so me and her had that like the little connection there, I feel like. And I grew up watching her literally since day one. So I think that's really, really cool. And I just think there's a way to archive our work on social media that I can bring forward through numbers, through engagement, through promotion, and simply just through awareness. So currently, right now, I am a college professor. I teach journalism at College of DuPage. I just got out of a class, actually. And I am taking weather classes as well to go more into meteorology because we need more representation in the STEM field there as well. But I've been working as a television reporter since 2014, or a television news producer in one way or another. And so I think going more into content creation and going more into digital is allowing us to tell our stories, but on a social media platform where our audience are and where those who are my age and younger reside. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Brett. Next is Marquita.
So good evening, NABJ Chicago family. I'm Marquita Anderson, and I'm a journalist, producer, and digital storyteller. And I'm super excited to run for vice president of digital. Now, I currently serve on the digital and events committees, and over the past year, I've had the honor of bringing our chapter's work to life online, from capturing the electric energy of the 2024 National Convention to highlighting the incredible impact we make in our communities, like the events that we had with the speed mentoring moment last week. I've used our digital platforms to do what we do best, amplify the voices of Black journalists. Now, I started my journey in Chicago, similar to a lot of you. Art Norman, he walked me pretty much straight into NBC Chicago's door. I was in grad school at Roosevelt University. I got my master's in journalism and the incredible professors there. But I wanted to jump right into TV news. And so, I went through all the appropriate steps to make that happen. And Art Norman, Pam Oliver, Regina, Alicia, like so many people, Michelle, all of the people at NBC really wrapped me up and was just there for me for support and for comfort. I'm a Southern girl, come from Savannah, Georgia, but then I spent time at Michigan State University in undergrad, and I was in mass media program and Com Arts College and in a dance program. And so I'm grateful to do that here in Chicago today with more than a decade of experience in broadcast news, the nonprofit sector, and public speaking. I've built a career that blends creativity and strategy, from field producing major moments like the Cubs' historic 2016 World Series win to crafting digital content for NBC Chicago. And it was at that point that things really turned into passion meets purpose. And so when I was out in the field and covering digital content, it led me to being on the front lines of the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. And I got into marathon running with Nike Chicago in the city. And I shared my first marathon experience on NBC's website, a partnership and kind of a fun moment with the digital team there. And so that blossomed into all the things. So I started doing content and things like that for Nike Chicago, and joining a digital team as a content producer in ways. And so, as the vice president of digital, I would continue strengthening our chapter's digital presence, one that prioritizes wellness, fosters collaboration, digital training, and growing our impact as we thrive in this media landscape, right? We know it has its ups and downs, it's roller coaster and that kind of thing. But the important thing that we have here is community, right? Now, I believe our digital spaces should be as dynamic, innovative, and powerful as we are, right? And I'd be honored to help lead that work. So I just want to say thank you for your support, and let's just keep building this thing together.
Thank you so much. Next is Lauren.
Hi guys, my name is Lauren Azu. I am running for at-large board member. I hope you can hear me. My internet is a little unstable today. I have been working at the Chicago Tribune for the past 2.5 years. I am a deputy senior editor there. And before that, I attended the University of Wisconsin, where I received my journalism degree. But NABJ has been a part of my life since high school. I actually attended my first NABJ conference the summer after I graduated in Detroit, and my attendance was sponsored by the local chapter there. So I'm really grateful for them for launching my career and helping me to make connections so early at that young age. And NABJ was my lifeline through attending college at a PWI and getting exposure to my peers at different institutions through the work that all our members were doing throughout that time. And I actually was really honored to win a Salute to Excellence Award as a college student in 2021. So all that to say, I'm really grateful to NABJ for helping me with my career thus far. And now I feel like it's my turn to give back. And I want to start by just helping where I can with the local chapter here. And I'm really appreciative for all you guys for welcoming me. I grew up in Metro Detroit, as I said, so I'm not a local, but every day I feel more and more like a Chicagoan, and this is my home. So this is my time to really grow and flourish here and do what I can to make NABJ a strong chapter. And my favorite month is June.
Thank you for letting us know that. That is my birthday month. And last but certainly not least is Cleopatra.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for holding space tonight. I'm excited to be here. I've applied to be a member at large. Currently, I am the newest host of the midday show at WVON 1690 AM. So I hail from the radio industry, but like so many others, I come from television. To be technical, I got a bachelor's degree in communications with a concentration of television broadcast from Eastern Illinois University. Uniquely, from there, I did an externship that, although I appreciate my time in Urbana-Champaign at WCIA, it wasn't enough. I'm homegrown, Chicago, born and raised. I will say I'm proud that I graduated from Kenwood, and that well-rounded experience took me a lot of places. And from there, they told me that that was it, WCIA, and I told them that it wasn't. So I've always fought against what people tell me. So I sat outside of Marion Brooks' office until she opened the door. At that time, there was not too many rules and swiping cards, but I would start on the day of the NIU shooting. So that was my internship. I landed at NBC5 for 6 weeks. I didn't care in what condition. So between Marion Brooks, Bob Surratt, from Art Norman, Pam Oliver, all of those names have continued to pave ways for so many of us, and I'm very grateful. However, I didn't land in TV like I thought I would. I decided to go to grad school. So I'm a Jane Addams Scholar. I went to Jane Addams College of Social Work at UIC, and I took a pathway into education. So I am well-rounded. I say all of that because I have a master's degree in social work. And then from there, how did I land back in radio? That was wild because I'd never been in radio. In fact, I've never really liked to leave too many voicemails. But from my political experiences and endeavors, I caught the attention of Melody Span Cooper, Perry Small, some of the bigger names in this industry that wanted to hear what I had to say. And from there, that journey took me on a 5-year run. And then an opening became when Perry Small decided to retire, and I am her successor, and I'm very proud of that. I say all that to say that I've lived a lot of lives, and although still young, so much more to learn and grow. I'm very people oriented, and I do have a lot of skills. I won't say it in my taking voice, but I am very proud about where I've landed because it makes me very unique. Radio still is a power play, it's a mongrel, and so is my CEO, and I learn every day. And I want to bring all of what I got and then some to NABJ. So I'm very proud about this opportunity, and I'm just humbled to hold space with you all tonight.
Thank you so much, Cleopatra. And thank you, everybody, for your intros. Thank you for letting everyone know a little bit about your history, where you're from, what you've done, where you want to go, and how you see yourself on the board. We're going to move into the questions that the committee has created. For the questions, we're going to allot a limit of 1 minute and 15 seconds to start with for people to respond. There's not like 1,001 questions, but they're, a little detailed. So I'm going to ask the questions in order of position just to keep things simple and clear. And I will try to keep an eye on this chat. Okay, so our first questions are for our candidates who are running for an at-large position on the board. There aren't any specific duties outlined for an at-large board member. So what kinds of things would you like to see someone in your position do, or would you like to do in this position? And we have 3 people, and I will just go in alphabetical order by last name. So Lauren, you can take it first.
I would like to help with more event planning. I think that's something I haven't really done here yet. So just to enhance my skills, and I do feel like that's something that could potentially be a pressure point for the board. So I think that's something I would like to do. And then as far as programming, I think our speed networking event last week was incredible, and I've heard so many good things about it. So if we could do something like that, maybe in the fall, next semester, that would be amazing.
Great, thank you. Cleopatra?
Thank you. I think expand our thumbprint. I'm reclaimed. I hadn't been a part of NABJ in some time because of the career changes, and I'm not alone. And as people evolve, I do see our outreach to those that are currently in college, but for some of us that have been out there swimming, trying to find ourselves and reclaim these careers and identities, especially as America rebukes diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now is the time for us to include ourselves. So I just think that us promoting and aligning ourselves with VP of digital and just however we can use our voices, our presence, our skill sets to really market in a special way that is expansive outside of what we do traditionally would be a great idea for us to build and recapture. So I'm on some reclaiming souls at this point to come on back.
Thank you for that. Norman?
I'd like to see us, at least what I would love to get involved in is mentorship programs, programs that help the emerging journalists. Or someone talking about being an emerging journalist, and I think that's important, especially in Chicago. The legacy, the history. I remember as a person in college, Monroe Anderson at the time was a reporter at the Chicago Tribune, and I reached out to him, and he invited me to the newsroom, gave me a tour, really tried to motivate me and get me excited about journalism. And years later in the 90s, we served on a board together, national board. But I think that something like that's really important for our industry, for us to stay engaged with the emerging journalists and support them. So that's something I'd like to be involved in. I think it'd be great. And I'm open to do anything on the board, anything that you think that I would be helpful with. I'd love to do help any kind of way I can. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. In line with that question, our chapter bylaws state that, the at-large members perform duties as assigned, to Norman's point. However, what kind of parameters or limits should there be on those assigned duties, if any? And I guess we can go in the same order. Yeah, why not, Lauren?
Yeah, I definitely understand what it's like to, have an assignment on a board and nobody's raising their hands to get it done. So I think as an at-large board member, you have to be that buffer zone where the other board members, if they are occupied, if they can't get to something that needs to be done, you have to, as an at-large board member, you should be raising your hand saying, okay, how can I help? And as far as me, I'm a little bit younger and inexperienced, so I think I would need help with some things, but I wouldn't hesitate to ask, and I would hope I would get the help that I desire. Just as far as, news life, we're all journalists here. Our schedules can be crazy. I personally work Sunday through Thursday, so weekend stuff is a little bit more tricky for me to figure out because I have to arrange it in advance in order for it to work with my work schedule and just balance everything. So I think, as board members, we should be cognizant of that. Like, we all have crazy schedules. We're all trying our best. But as far as at-large board member, that is kind of the role to step in when help is needed.
Sorry. Thank you. Cleopatra?
Sure. I'm just extremely flexible. I think the industry I serve in allows me a lot of autonomy. But I mean, like everybody else's life, I'm very structured in terms of how I expend that. But I think in this moment, it is just so keen that with the expansion of all of us preparing to serve in some capacity, that there's room space for us to kind of build and formulate which direction is most pivotal. So for me, from a org standpoint, I just would like to learn, from leadership on down. So the president to set the tone of what direction of growth we want to take it in, especially with us onboarding. So, so many people come into play in the game and grow and build. I think it's important for us to outline at least the top three priorities and then establish a direction from there. I think programmatic opportunities of event planning is important. I also think building momentum for growth of membership is pivotal, right? In fact, you can't even be in this space if you're not a paid member. So that's important. And last but not least, to respect Norma's standpoint, none of us would not be here if it wasn't for somebody pulling us in. So I think mentorship is pivotal. So I think those are some components that we outline, but yet instill the mechanics of how we move, especially as we expand the arms of some pivotal departments of growth, is important to examine and then serve where we can. So I think for us, programmatically, is to find out what direction we want to take this in. We're embarking upon 50 years. There's so many milestones that I can identify off the top of my head that are going to be captivating our attention. But yet and still, the momentum of what we do in Chicago is exclusively Chicago, but it is Chicago, right? So it's a major tourist attraction that we can galvanize real people to join us and build. The key component of anything for me, it is numbers. Numbers do matter, but so does the quality, right? We can have a bunch of people and nobody wanting to do the work, but what exactly is the work? So I think there are some key factors that I would like to extrapolate to in terms of the direction of where we want to plateau. And then, what's the expectation and momentum of growth? So that's what I have. And then we've lost Grace. Where is Grace? Oh, there she is. Okay.
Oh, I was like, I'm lost.
Yeah, I lost Grace. Where is she? Okay.
Thank you so very much for that. Let me go back to our questions here. Sorry. For the last questions, specifically for our at-large board member candidates, we have 9 committees on the board of directors, and there are 4 of them that are not chaired by executive members of the board. Those are programming, events and fundraising, social media, and scholarship. So if any of these are open for our candidates for at-large board members, which one of these would you be interested in chairing and why? Just as a reminder, the time limit's 1 minute and 15 seconds. And if you see me raise my hand, that means you're approaching the end of your time. Okay, cool. Great. And in the spirit of fairness, let's go in the reverse order this time, alphabetically, for our at-large board members.
So I guess that's me. Okay, all right. I think I would like to be involved in programming because I've been involved with NABJ for a while and I kind of have an idea. But first, Cleopatra said something that was really interesting. She talked about the leadership, what they want us to do, what the direction, what the vision is for the organization. So I like to, get involved in that. And more importantly, I talked about mentorship. So I would love to be involved in scholarships, helping people reach their dreams, go to school and become a journalist. And because I think that's really important today. And especially as you look at federal funding being cut for education and such, I think that scholarships is something really important. So that's something I really like to be involved in. And also from sending a daughter to college, I know, that's a while ago. I'm still paying for that. She's been out for a long time. So I think that scholarships, that's really, really important. So I would love to be involved in that.
Thank you. Cleopatra?
You did. I'm in the middle. You did say that. So, for 10 years, I served as a post-secondary director with Chicago Public Schools. Currently, I am the chair of Club Owners United Scholarship. I've been doing that maybe 5, 6 years now. So the natural fit for me is fundraising, scholarships, especially if there's a moment to serve. So the short answer of where I would last. And then secondly, it would probably be programming, but it depends on what the caliber of programming, but that's where my skill sets lie. Thank you.
Thank you. Lauren?
In terms of my current skill sets, I do think social media would be a great fit for me. But I do think Leona's been doing a good job with it, so I wouldn't want to overstep, girl. But as somebody who's been featured in front of a few of the little videos and reels that she's been doing, I would love to learn from her and potentially take over if the opportunity presents itself. Also, events, like I said, I would love to continue learning how to put on our fabulous events, and I think that could be a great fit for me as well.
Great, thank you. So now we will move on to our questions specifically for the candidates for VP of Archives. Well, that's one candidate, Aisha. What are some efficient methods to collect and organize documents, photos, and videos from our events?
I think that, well, first letting working with the VP of Digital to coordinate to make sure that we have someone assigned to document the events, whether it's doing so, writing it down, or taking pictures, or um, recording it with video, or even if you have to do audio. But I think that having working with the VPR archives to get that done so that we can have that stored and get it up and share it, not just with our members in the newsletter, but also just have it documented as we are, continue to document our our chapter's history. And also, and even asking members, if they happen to get really cool pictures or just capture things that we may have missed, making sure that they can share that with us and we would give them credit for what they share.
Great, thank you. Second question, what are some ways or how can we share our events, forums, panels with members who aren't able to attend them?
Okay, so this is somewhat related to the first question, something else. Something else I had previously thought about that I think may be helpful, again, working with the VPR archives, because because some of our members may be in between jobs, or we may have emerging journalists or student journalists who are looking to get opportunities while they wait for, looking for opportunities to showcase their work. I think if we could possibly, if it's not a heavy lift, because as everyone has pointed out, we all have full-time jobs and we are busy, but maybe even giving some of our members the opportunity to do the work, like to document events, will also be helpful. They can build their portfolio in that way too. So that's something else that, possibly we could do. But I think, could you share that second part of the question again for me, Grace, about sharing it? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry. What are
That's
some ways that we can share our events with members who can't attend them in real time?
Oh, well, okay. So as I mentioned, having that documented and we share things via the newsletter now, but I also think if we could store it or even upgrade our website where we can have maybe an embedded video link where people can watch things if it is recorded in video, or they can go and get a recap. I've done recaps before for some events, so I think that again, it will be easier and more helpful if we can get members to help contribute to that if they are especially looking to build their clip portfolio.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Next, we will move on to questions specifically for our candidates for VP of Digital. And we have two candidates, as a reminder, Brett Brooks and Marquita Anderson. So for both of you, how do you envision working in this position? And how do you define the duties of this position? And in terms of who will answer first, I think in fairness, I will have Marquita answer first.
Yes, thank you for that question. So, as Vice President of Digital, I envision this role as a bridge between innovation and impact. I would say harnessing the power of digital media to uplift Black journalists, tell our stories boldly, and expand the reach of NABJ's mission across platforms. I believe using digital tools is not just to inform, but to engage, empower, and build meaningful community connections. And I see the digital landscape for NABJ Chicago as a newsroom, our community forum, and our stage, right? From strengthening our website and enhancing our social media strategy to launching multimedia storytelling initiatives and member features, I really just want to ensure that NABJ Chicago's digital presence reflects the brilliance, the diversity, and the excellence of our incredible members. I also want to create a space for collaboration and digital mentorship and helping members sharpen their digital skills, explore emerging media tools, and build our own brands and things like that, right? Whether it's amplifying local journalism, showcasing events in real time, or building a digital archive for Black Chicago storytelling, something that we can collaborate across the board. My goal really here is to lead with creativity, consistency, and it's warmth and care. And as far as the duties and things like that, and what I feel like I would be committed to, I feel like digital is the heartbeat of NABJ Chicago. It's our finesse, it's our essence to the public. And to me, this role is a blend of strategy, creativity, and community. And with the excitement in this role and just my ride, one thing I gotta pin in there is, I don't know if anybody's a Spartan, but go green all day. And my favorite month is February because it's my birthday month. It is Black History Month. It's the month of love, and all of that energy is just so part of my soul and my spirit. And that is definitely what I want to see come through our digital presence and our existence there. And so duties looks like, to me, strategic storytelling, platform stewardship, engagement and visibility, collaboration across the board, innovation and growth, mentorship and member support, innovation, and all of those things just wrapped up together, diving into the role as, say, the VP of Digital should work closely with the board members. One of the biggest duties to me would be to present ourselves in this elevated way to the broader public, using and producing compelling content, using data to guide our decisions, and showing up consistently across our platforms. And for this role, I really want to craft and oversee the digital strategy that reflects the chapter's mission and our energy, from event promotion to member highlights to everything, should really feel intentional, relevant, and rooted in community. And so that's a big push for me. And, this role is so in my heart too, as a digital storyteller and strategist for the chapter. I feel like this role, you definitely want to leave with a specific purpose that centers the voices of us and who we are, and our digital presence as this bold and as brilliant as the work that we do. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Brett?
Can you repeat the question for me, please?
Yes. How do you envision working in this position, and how would you define the duties of this position?
Okay, so I would define the duties first. So I think the duties of any board member, specifically when you're talking about digital, is to make sure that our online footprint is present and to have strategic goals laid out. So whether that's a reach number, an engagement number, something to quantify our presence online specifically. Right now, currently, when I work with a lot of small businesses for their social media strategy, I try to figure out what their goal is. Is it to get more leads? Is it to get more clicks? Is it to get more visits? Is it to get more followers? Is it to get more brand deals and to increase your engagement financially? So I think when it comes to VP of Digital, is attacking the chapter's goal. And I think right now is to increase the online presence as the baseline there. And so that looks like posting consistently. That looks like engaging in the comments. That looks like interacting with our fellow members through collaborations and tagging each other in posts. So those are some of the tangible things that we can do right now. And when it comes to archiving our events, you can easily reach out to any of the members who are there, ask for their video, create a video compilation of what happened at this event or like the Red Hot Party, and then posting it on social media on our various channels. So that's how I describe it. When it comes to what I would want to do in this position, I think the biggest thing about social... Oh, it says it's calling me again. Is I connected still? Oh.
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I think I just got a phone call. I apologize. Hold on one second. I think someone is still calling me. Okay, I apologize. Um, okay. When it comes to what I want to do, when it comes to VP of Digital, it's pretty much to extend NABJ online, physically online. Right now, I think with social media and with our voice and with our current administration at the presidential level, we have this unique opportunity to serve as the voice of the people. And the only way people are going to know about us or about our mission or about our individual stories that we're all doing for our different newsrooms is to put that content out there. And that's one thing I don't really see often with us as journalists or with NABJ specifically, is highlighting what stories people are doing. In the past newsletter, me and two others were highlighted for awards that we won recently. I think we need more of that. And I think we need to show the stories that are potential Emmy Award winners, the ones who are Emmy Award winners, our day-to-day stories online, because people know that we exist as journalists, but they don't know what stories we're actually telling day to day. And I think that's something that's really important to do as a digital person, because people go to online platform first. A lot of people get their news from Instagram. And if we're not at the forefront of that news decision making, and if we're not at the forefront of being in people's faces consistently every single day on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Threads, Snapchat, then we're missing out on a huge market of our people who don't even know we exist. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Moving on, we now have our question for our candidate for secretary. Our bylaws state that there should be reasonable access to minutes of board meetings, but they also state that they require approval, copies of the board meeting minutes require approval by the board of directors. Does this seem contradictory? If so, how would you resolve it? If it doesn't, why not?
Ooh, so I think that when people want to know what's going on, it's the secretary's job to tell them. I know it's a part of the secretary's job to take the board notes. So I love having access as the taker to the notes to give direct information. But of course, I don't think it's contradictory at all, because I think, how much access to the information the general public has should be provided through the board that is within their power. So I guess I know the answers, and if I can answer the questions, I'm going to answer the questions. And if they get more detailed or more gritty, I think I'll just go to leadership to see if we want to just, release the whole notes, because we definitely do have them. So I said that to say I don't think it contradicts itself. I think everyone is should be able to ask what's going on in the board meetings. That's why we have the notes, so that we can tell our own board, because so much goes on. But then also, I know there is sometimes that member overreach. So I think it's just all about the respect and the balance of power. But I don't think it's contradictory. And that's what the notes are for, so people know what's going on. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That is the last of the questions that we have, that are specific to each position. So now that we have been looking at the chats, no one has placed any questions in while we've been talking. So now we have about 10 minutes left of our forum, in which I'll allow the candidates time to give their closing remarks and answer one final question for me, which is, are there projects that you believe NABJ Chicago should be involved in that we are not involved in, and or you would like to spearhead? So with that in mind, think about your final remarks that you would like to give. The time limit for our final remarks will be, again, 1 minute and 15 seconds. That way everyone has time to give their final remarks. Since there's 8 people, I think. Quick maths, I'm not that great at it. I'm a writer. So yes, Leona, you have your hand up? Question? Yes.
No one to answer first, because I already had it have it going.
You wanted to go for
Yeah, let's close out.
Hold on. My turn.
I have been a part of the chapter for 4 years, and one thing that I know I want to spearhead is us getting into neighborhoods. I think it touched on every single thing every one person has said. I think we're very centrally downtown located, which I completely understand why at the time, but I know there's lots of Black people in the South Sides and West Sides and East Sides I even want to see as someone not from Chicago, so that we can be that much more like I know where NABJ is. They came to my school, they came to my library. Like I have physically seen them and their members touch my community, a little place closer to home, which I know will help with recruitment. It will help with being there, uh, recapping all the digital stuff we do in the actual physical communal spaces. And that is a project I want to be a part of as secretary. I feel like I am a liaison. So I want to be able to have my hands a little bit in everything so I can get all the messages out to the members. I think my main goal is to answer questions before people have them without spamming them to death. So that is going to be my attempt. That's what I'm going to attempt to do in this role if you guys vote for me. And so, yeah, if you guys give the votes, I'll write the notes. Vote for me, secretary. That's all I got.
Thank you for that, Fiona. Does anyone want to go next, or should I just call people again?
Yeah,
Can I
I
go next?
can.
Oh, you got it.
Go ahead and call people, Grace.
Okay, Marquita, you can go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So, man, you know what? I'm really excited to spearhead a couple of things, a couple of ideas, just to kind of throw a couple out there, some digital storytelling series. I have an idea of NABJ Chicago Voices, similar and in the same vein of what Leona's talking about, getting out into the communities, something called a digital detox plus wellness workshops. A collaboration with NABJ Digital Digest is what the name that I call it, but a collaboration with our board and secretary, something that I'm calling like what's the word, where we really like the job opportunities, member spotlights, media wins, digital tips. I mean, all of us are doing some phenomenal work. So even going out in the community and following that work and presenting and showcasing that digitally, putting together a platform playbook with digital tools and training. It'll offer like a short, accessible workshops and content sessions with tools and learning things like, how to use Kava, Instagram Reels, LinkedIn strategies, and things like that. Something I'm really excited about is a real-time content coverage team, because I know y'all see some of these other teams, like say like a Essence magazine social team, they do their thing. And I feel as though we can create this real-time and evergreen content from jumping around in our panels to the community service days and things like that we have going on, digital partnerships and activations. Again, I'm a digital producer at Chicago
Quickly
Lights right now.
interrupt. Your
And
minute 15 is up. So sorry.
yes.
Next, we will move on to Brett.
Hello. Can I just tell you guys have made me laugh this whole little chat. So thank you for that. One thing I want to see is us give away more money on a scholarship level, and also maybe even just awarding each member individually for the year of work as journalists that we've done in a gala format. I think oftentimes we do pat ourselves on the back at 6 o'clock every night because of the hard work we did that day. But I think as a chapter, we need to recognize each other for the journalism work that we've done over the course of the year. We have the Emmys at the regional level, but I think we need something at the local level to just, pat ourselves on the back for just putting ourselves out there and putting our stories out there. So I would love to see something of a gala recognizing us as a chapter, and then also giving away more money when it comes to scholarships, because NABJ Chicago specifically helped me get to NABJ Chicago convention this last summer, and I appreciated that. And I know how hard it is to get to those conventions. And I think giving away money to students to help them get to those conventions, to find jobs, kind of how we do it, is something that's really important. And I'm thinking more money, like at least $2,000 for these college students, because we don't want to, they're already walking into an industry where they're not going to get paid a lot. The least we can do is kind of help them navigate that bridge. And that's something that I will want to help incorporate as well. By being a professor right now, I kind of see this at the local level at colleges. And I would love for each of us to kind of visit some of these colleges, whether it's the city colleges of Chicago or even the state schools, all 8 of them. One of us going out there and letting people know at those schools
Great to
that they
interrupt.
exist.
Your time is up.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to Cleopatra.
Hey again. Again, I would like to thank everybody. I really appreciate the time we're sharing tonight. And I'm gonna do what I do. I like formulas. So I'm gonna drop a formula in the chat. And it is very simple. NABJ/crossover. It's always a takeover. No matter where we're at, because of the nature of what we do, you have an alpha spirit and it's in you because you wouldn't have stories, you wouldn't have jobs if you didn't. So because of that aggressive spirit, I think it'd be fun for us to do like crossover events. Oftentimes we kind of operate within ourselves and it's a layer cake of what we do. You can go digital, you can go this, you can go that. But crossing over with housing, we cover so many stories. So I'm just very uh, riddled with ingenuity and creativity. And imagine a hodgepodge of just allowing people to ignite Black excellence in a space where issues we care about. So I'm just thinking about that formula. I'd like to thank you all for your time. Again, I am running to be a large board member, and I would appreciate everybody's vote and support. And again, just think about that. Everybody got an alpha spirit. You wouldn't have a job if you didn't. So there it is. A crossover equals takeover.
Thank you. We'll now move on to Aisha.
So I would like to continue digitizing our chapters archives, working with the VP of archives to get that digitized archive put on our site so they could be accessible to our members and those who would like to learn more about our chapter. I also would like to help. Again, working with the VP of Digital and any other members to help archive and showcase these successes of our current members, as well as, again, archiving those veterans who are aging and getting those stories down because they are the ones that, they saw Harold Washington become mayor. They documented a lot of the changes in the city. And I think that is very important to do that. 2 projects I would really like to do in addition to that. One of them is that I would love to, I'm exploring partnership with local organizations in terms of documenting and having some form of an exhibit for showcasing the trajectory of Black journalists in Chicago. We have a really rich history and it deserves like its own exhibit. I also would like to also do something where we have a more permanent documentation of the South and West Sides. I am a 4th generation Chicagoan. And, without the South and West Sides and the people here, a lot of those stories would not have been able to tell. We would not have been able to tell those stories and really supply the support that those Black journalists like Ida B. Wells and the Sang Stacks, what they've done.
Thank you so much, Aisha. We'll now move on to Lauren.
Okay, guys. I'm just sitting here listening to everyone's ideas, and I'm like, oh, I really want to participate and help out with that. So thank you guys so much for the opportunity to run for the at-large board member position. I'm really humbled at the opportunity to serve NABJ Chicago. So if you vote for me, I promise that I will try my best to be an asset to this board. And I just take this as an opportunity to learn from the best. As far as my idea goes, as I continue my journey working in the news business, I see a lot of people that just lack an understanding of what we do. And I really feel like our role with NABJ Chicago and being able to kind of appeal to Black Chicagoans and people that can look to us to trust us, I really think we should do more in terms of education as what journalists do in terms of media literacy and youth. So this is not really a fully formed idea, but I do think we have the opportunity to educate and sit down and say this is the process of how you have an idea and how it becomes a news story. So that's a project I'm excited about.
Thank you for that. And last, but certainly not least, we have Norman.
Wow, it's hard to follow up with all of that. Those are great ideas. I mean, I'm just glad that I'm being considered as a board member. And thanks for all the ideas that my colleagues have offered today. They were really great. My area that I would love to see us more involved in are with high schoolers. I think I mentioned that a little earlier. And I think that's so important for keeping the journalists, keeping that pipeline going in journalism. And just to piggyback on two things I heard that I thought were really great was one, I'll go real fast. One was the working in the communities. When I was in Phoenix in the 90s, we had single digit Black journalists there working in that market, but we had a single journalist Blacks living in Phoenix, but we had a lot of Black journalists, but we didn't know each other and we didn't know the organizations there. So we had our meetings at different community organizations every month and throughout Phoenix. So the community organizations knew who we were. And then after they introduced themselves, talked about their organizations, and we had our meetings. And then the second thing that someone said, they talked about the awards program. I think that would be so great to have something like that in Chicago every year, honoring the best of Black journalism. But that's it. I'll shut up. Thanks.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your answers. Thank you to our candidates for joining us for the forum. Thank you to our attendees. Remember, as a reminder, the election begins next Monday online. Membership will get notified via email, and you will get the link via email as well. You'll have until May 19th at 11:59 p.m. to submit that electronic ballot. If you don't submit it electronically, then you can still vote in person at the annual meeting on May 21st at 7 p.m. Location will be in your email in the newsletter. Thank you again to all of our candidates for giving us your time tonight. Thank you to everyone who joined us. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. If you have any questions, please email elections@nabjchicago.org. And that's it for me. Thank you all.